Season's greetings. Good evening, gentlemen. It's Wednesday night. It's the 3rd of August. Yes, the nights are drawing in. It's a bit of a weak summer up to now, but anyway, let's get on with this. Hello to Sean Griffiths, Lee Butler, John Mitch, Martin Ryder, Mal, Expat Pete. Nice to hear from you all. Johnny Day, Gordon Bennett, okay, Pinball, Mazza, Mazza, what's this one? Mazza, good evening, Eddie. Can you explain what the Dirty Dozen is? It sounds great. Well, it's a sort of one of my favourite film analogies. You know, it's about results. It's about going out to Thailand and you know, when you return home, your friends say to you, "How many? Come on, tell us." How many? And if you can say, well, I had the Dirty Dozen, well, that's good enough, isn't it? Okay. Red wine. Yes, that's bloody good. I got a pint of Henry Weston's, a.k.a. Happy Juice. Can't wait to hear about what categories you've been watching on whatever. Oh, my God almighty. Anissa Kate, that's what I like. Yogi Bear, good evening to you. Good evening to you, Yogi Bear. Martin Ryder is booked for Thailand. Good for him anyway. And these flight prices appear to be getting a little bit better. Martin Ryder, Eva Air, London Heathrow to Bangkok, September for 2 weeks. Direct, 559 bargain, booked, locked and loaded. Good for you, mate. I'll drink to that. Martin knows the script. Yeah, he doesn't hang... hang around. Good for you, Martin. Ed Sweeney's 20 stone white back in England. Hi, honey bunch. Hello, sweetie pie. Oh, I'll be with you later, my darling. Okay. Dayan Ford, Ivan. Ivan. Even that, enjoyed your footy live stream. Yeah, not everybody did. I mean, you know, on the live stream the other night, we celebrated, you know, the girls winning the Euro Cup. It didn't go down well with everything, but on the other channel, we talk about different things. John Mitch, no, not Vietnam for retirement. Vietnam is becoming extremely difficult to retire, isn't it? They've made it deliberately awkward for people to get retirement visas. And to think just a few years back, that country was tipped as being the new Thailand. Whenever you heard that old cliche, you know, take it with a pinch of salt. Hugh Jordan, nice to have you. Johan Zed, Bart Bus. Sean Griffiths, never the UK to decide. No, can't see myself retiring here somehow. Philip Mulville. Bottle Baby, loved your last stream. Okay. Robbie Southern. Martin, who you're flying with? He's already said he's going with Eva. Martin Blunston, Gabby Hayes, Brian Street. Brian Street, even a mate. A coffin is the best place to retire. Keep going. Yeah, well, you know, that's it. You can drop dead anytime. So, you know, I'd rather drop dead in some sunny, exotic location. Lee Butler, Charles Brown, Andrew Hammond, David Mayer, nice to have you. Tom Streeter. Okay, Scott J, Dutch Farang. Oh, you missed the intro. When was the last time I bloody used that intro? Because it seems like I played that and it seems like an awful long time ago. I know when I was in Romania, I was doing live streams on my main channel. I wasn't actually using an intro. But I played that and I thought, God, it seems like an eternity since I last heard that. Okay. Let's see. Happy as Larry, Yogi Bear, Rob P, I Am Tilt, Ian UK. Everything explored. You should retire to a place you don't love. You should retire to a place you love. Don't sweat the money too much. You have only one life. Absolutely, mate. Martin Ryder, yeah, he's gone with Eva Air. Good for you. Good airline as well. I'm really, really pleased for you, Martin. And it just goes to show that there are people out there who exaggerate, you know, how expensive the flights become. Martin's got himself a good bargain there. You know, good for them anyway. Patriots just one. Hi, Ed. What countries will you visit in your next trip? Can we see Indonesia? I don't think Indonesia. In fact, I don't think I'll be doing any airplanes other than the return flight from London to Bangkok, because I don't like getting airplanes all over the place. I think realistically, it will be, I'll be in Bangkok and Pattaya. I'm hopefully going to be crossing the border into Cambodia and travel around it by road. Maybe Laos. We'll see what the script is with Laos. I doubt Vietnam, but I would expect that I'm going to be doing everything by either road or boat. I don't like getting airplanes. And you may think, oh yeah, but if you're going to Cambodia and to Thailand, it's much quicker to get the plane. Not necessarily. I know another vlogger, who got a flight from Phnom Penh to, I believe it was Chiang Mai. His flight was delayed by 9 hours. I've had flight delays through Vietnam. I just prefer to do it by road. And I'm telling you that you can wake up in your hotel in Pattaya, and you can go by road. But you can be picked up by the minibus. You can go by road, cross the border to Cambodia, and be at your hotel in Siem Reap by about 5:30, about 9 hours from hotel to hotel. Now, some may say that that's really laborious, but at least, it's reliable. I don't like airplane delays, so I'll be avoiding planes. Mark Holland, good afternoon from Minnesota. That okay, good afternoon, Mark. Mark commented that he's having a good life in Minnesota, and that's where he wants to live, and that's great. It's nice to know that somebody's really contented. I suspect an awful lot of British people are not really contented where they are. They want to live somewhere else. But if you can, you obviously have a good life there, Mark. So I'll drink to that. Cheers, mate. Anyway, cheers. Nice to hear from you. David Coleman, hi, Eddie. Let's have some fun. I never had a dirty dozen. I don't mean a dirty dozen all in the one night. That'd kill me. That would bloody kill me. That would. I don't mean all in the one night. I mean over the period of time that you're there, maybe a month or two, something like that. A good old dirty dozen. Kipax, nice to hear from you, Kipax. McLaren F1 race, darn it, you did it again. I was watching Street of Legends about a bunch of LA street races. Always a pleasure to watch McLaren always seems to find programs that are more interesting than the ones that I watch. Nice to hear from you anyway. Mickey Berkshire, Donald Trump. Nice to hear from you. I don't get involved in American politics. Good, Tony States. Good morning from Australia. That one guy. Meet me in Soy 6. Okay, then I might take you up on that. Paul Hoskin. You come home and the blokes want to know. I know that's it. People are obsessed, aren't they, with numbers and prices? It's always how much or how many. Who cares? Who cares about? How. I'm never ever obsessed with how many. If anyone says to me, how many women, I didn't count. And to be honest with you, that quite often that's the truth. I don't do numbers because numbers are for BS people. People like to exaggerate numbers. I can't be bothered with numbers. Philip Mulville, Eddie, where are you retired? Well, that's what we're going to discuss tonight, because the purpose of this is that, if you reach the age when a lot of people are disillusioned with Britain. If you reach the age when you think, I don't know, it's time now. I'm 60 years old. It's time. No more dithering. It's about time, I should be retired abroad. Because, if I want to go abroad somewhere, that probably means I'm not really contented with my life in England. And but the question is where? As I understand it, if you make the big leap to actually retire abroad, you have to choose one particular place that you would quite possibly be prepared to live in for the rest of your life. And this is the issue, you see. Some people dispute that. But let's say if I was to go, take the plunge and go and retire abroad now, and somewhere in Southeast Asia. To me, I would have to find the one place which I would use as my base, as my home, and I would have to be prepared to maybe live there for the rest of your life. And the thing is, I know you get people say, yeah, but you could stay here for a year and go to another country for a year and whatever. Wait a minute, I could do that now at 60, but how about 10 years down the line? Let's say if I lived in Southeast Asia the next 10 years, I get to 70. Do you really think that I would want to move home and cross a border and get another visa and live in another place and stay there for a few years and then go to you? So sooner or later you will get too old to be doing that. Simply too old. So the way I see it, if you're going to make the big move, one of the things that you must decide is the right place. I don't just mean the right country. I mean the right town, the perfect town. So look at all the towns on offer in the Southeast Asian countries. You've got Bangkok, Chiang Mai, Pattaya, Phuket. In Cambodia, you've got Siem Reap, Phnom Penh. Vietnam, well, it's very difficult to, Vietnam has, become quite hostile to retirees. That's the way I see it. So I'd forget that one for now. So which would be the perfect town? Which one would you say would be the perfect town? You tell me yours, and later I'll tell you mine. Let's see. Raymond D. Flavers, excellent topic, Eddie. Thank you for that. Erin Travel, Sugar Can, Imran Khan, Kim Farang from the Jungle, Robert Williamson. Nice to hear from you, Robert. Hi, Eddie. I hope you're well, my friend. I hope to run into you and buy you a lunch and a drink somewhere in the world someday. I should be getting my new 10-year passport in the next couple of weeks. No, I've got to sort that out. Not next year, but the year after that, I have to sort that out. So, that would, before I'd even think of retirement, I'd have to get that done. Robbie Southern, I got November for 760 from Manchester with guitar. Sounds good. Sounds good. See, the flights seem to be getting a little bit better. Imran Khan has to be Thailand to retire. I'm not really so sure about that. It's still probably the best bet, but I'm not really so sure. Scott J, where in mind have you got in for retirement? Well, I want to know what other people are saying, first of all. I mean, I put out a post today, didn't I? And, I put out a post to say, where would you like, where in the world would be the perfect place to retire? And, I got a variety of answers. Somebody said Saturn. And I couldn't resist it. Well, that's got a ring to it, hasn't it? Anyway, the gang, David Mayer, nice to hear from you. The gang's all here. Gaz77. Oh, come on, he watches the show. I'm not going to repeat what he said, but he watches the show, doesn't he? He watches the show, okay. Jan K, Thailand is best for retirement. It's probably still the best bet because there's a lot to that country. And it probably is still the safest bet. But where in Thailand? Which particular town would you be thinking of? Because it's not just about choosing a country. I'll repeat what I said a few moments ago. You've got to look 10 or 15 years into the future when you're not as physical then as you might be now. And I must admit, if I settled in a particular apartment or a house or whatever, and I was happy there, and I found my nice little local bars or my local coffee shops or my local shops or whatever to go to, I think I'd probably get to the stage that I'd want to stay there. The thing I wouldn't want to be doing is being forced either for visa reasons or whatever in 10 years time to then move somewhere else. I mean, I'd want to stay there for the rest of my life. So that's why I think actually choosing now the place where you want to plonk yourself down and stay there, I think that's really the most important. Ben Leno, does anyone have any advice for mongering in Vietnam? I did make a video, a couple of videos a couple of years back. You always check them out. Ben Leno, I'm going on Monday. Okay, natural in the buff Vietnamese lady. Come on, retired in Vietnam. Oh, this is a question. Years ago, I've been to Vietnam many times, and it's a wonderful country to travel. But why is it? I mean, that country was tipped to become the next Thailand. I mean, Nha Trang was tipped to become the next Pattaya, and it never ever happened. It got taken over by Russians, and Nha Trang is actually a bit bland, really. The bars, they're all very, very Russian. Last time I went there anyway. But why have they made it so difficult for Farangs to stay there for a very long time? I seem to recall with a lot of retirees in Vietnam, but it's becoming really, really hostile to all of that now. Now, the country that some people say things could change. They could change at a moment's notice. But Cambodia, some say, is one of the easiest places to actually retire in Southeast Asia these days, simply because it doesn't seem to be as draconian as Thailand. And also, I've seen a video on YouTube. I was watching it before. I didn't really believe it to begin with. But a guy said you can go to Cambodia on a tourist visa, and while you're there, you can apply for a business visa for a year, and then you just keep renewing that visa year after year after year after year. That would be great. I mean, if that's the way it is, that sounds really great. But will it stay like that? Will it stay like that in the future? I mean, don't forget, a lot of these countries, are under a bit of Chinese influence, and things can change at a moment's notice. I mean, look what happened to Chinook, Phil. Jan K, Thailand is best for retirement. Mickey Barsha, Edmund Karat now. I'm back to retire next month if you're around. But I'm in the UK right now. I'm going to be here for the next 3 months anyway until I get on a plane. Bill Clark, perfect is a state of mind. Lived in Thailand, Philippines, and relocating to Mexico now. But good for you, mate. Good for you. Good for you. Dutch Farang, Ed Sweeney's 20-stone wife back in England. Sorry for being so offensive towards you in the earlier streams. You were offensive towards my wife. That's my job. Okay. Let's see. Jan K. Guatemala could be a good place to retire. Oh, it's David Mayer. I've never been to Guatemala. It doesn't have the best reputation, does it? Guatemala. People do retire in the strangest place. I mean, I've been to Nicaragua, and I met some Americans there who retired in Nicaragua, and they seem to be quite happy there. People do retire in the most volatile places. Joe Hart, good evening. Nice to hear from you, mate. Here's a good comment. Robert Williamson, best place to retire. The place where you're most happy. Ask 100 people and you get a lot of different countries for an answer. Well, that's good. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. Eventually, he said, what is it? Ed Sweet's 20 white better. I didn't think, whatever. Paul Hoskin, I'm going to Lidl tomorrow to get some fish fingers. Good for you, Paul. Good for you. Nice to hear from you. Udon Kev, I think Ed, a 3-day cruise stopping at Brews with a few ale houses on P&O with all food included, lots of hen do's for about 400, great value. I would make a good vlog. Really, I can say I like boats. You never know. Kipax, click like, everyone. Thank you, Kipax. Thanks for that, mate. Dutch Farang about the simping on the ladies' football. Yeah, we did a stream the other night about what do we think of the women, winning the Euro trophy, and I mean the men they can't win an egg and spoon race, can they? The England male football team haven't won anything since 1966. We discussed that, so we're not going to discuss it anymore. Because it's done and dusted now anyway. But congratulations to the girls anyway, win the Euro Cup. Gary Hughes, good evening, young Mr. S. You're younger than me, 67 on Saturday coming. Well, happy birthday to you, mate. Good for you. David Mayer, Guatemala is cheap and has good weather. I don't like commenting on countries I've never been to. I've been to other countries in the Central America, but not that one. Not that one. Okay, well, good luck to you. Thanks for your recommendation. Farang Travels, Robbie Suther. I paid 480 quid with Qatar from Manchester in May. They were poor. Ian UK, best place to retire. I've got to be Soy 11 for sure. Okay. But that's a bit specific, isn't it? Imran Khan, I got London Heathrow to is that Phuket, is it? For 680 Singapore Airlines in November. Okay, good for you, mate. Bottle baby, Cambodia is now the best for retirement, but it's not the actual mainstream retiree. Thailand is still the best. You could very well be right there, mate. Mr. Nancy going to sell, whatever. No, we're not getting into all of that, mate. I was in Taiwan a couple of years back, and I would have liked it a lot more. I went there from Thailand to Taiwan and spent a couple of weeks there. I suffered a bit of food poisoning in the second half of that journey, so it held me back a lot. But what I did see in Taiwan, I mean, nice place, very, very pleasant. And I wish Taiwan all the best anyway. I hope it's nice and safe out there. Jason, Philippines, best place to go at the moment. I think with the Philippines, I mean, I think it's probably a little bit easier with Thailand, but you still have to stump up quite a bit of money and proof of income and all that. There's no country that's really, it dawdles again. Cambodia seems to be the one that seems to be the easiest to get into. But do you really think that those rules are, just renewing your visa over and over again indefinitely? I think it will change sometime in the future. So I wouldn't rely on I wouldn't rely on that. Neil Fleet, nice to hear from you, mate. Nice to hear from you. Let's see. Tom Street, have you been on the exercise bike today? Yeah, I did actually. I did. I was on the exercise bike. I even had a walk today as well. I've been trying. I've been doing a little bit. I'm not getting bloated anyway, so I've done something right anyway. But I was on the exercise bike for a brief while anyway. Nothing special. Bottle baby, flying knock air is like flying a dead duck. Okay. Lamai Airways, that's the one where another vlogger had a terrible delay at Phnom Penh. Imagine being stuck at Phnom Penh airport for 9 hours. 9 hours. That's it's not the most glamorous of airports. You know what I mean? Brian Street, thank you for that super chat, Brian Street. Cheers, mate. By the way, only 46,000 minutes to wheels up. Good for you, man. Well, I can't calculate that one, but is that next month in September? I hope you have a great time, mate. I really wish I was able to meet you out there, but it's I've got to wait until. I wish I was going now, to be honest with you, but I've got to wait till early November before my travels start. But thanks for that anyway. Kiki on the trail. Philippines for me, mate. Love the country and the people. Would have to be in an area that has Western comforts, though. You don't be stuck in the province and need instant medical attention. Now, this is interesting, you see. This is the point that I'm making. The 7,000 islands in the Philippines. I mean, which particular one would you retire in? I mean, a friend of mine is, goes to the Philippines quite regularly. He's actually planning on moving out there. But he said where he's based out there is really up mountains, and there's not really anything happening late at night. So you would have to find the right place for you, a place where I would still like, if I was to settle in one particular place, I'd still like to think that there was a couple of nice little bars within walking distance. There was a couple of 7-Elevens within walking distance. I wouldn't like to think I was stuck up in a mountain with loads of bloody chickens and goats for company. I wouldn't like to think that. Kim Farang from the jungle. The Cambodia border crossing at Poi Phet is like the Wild West. It's not that bad. I mean, the other one is a Koh Rong, the other border crossing. That was the worst one. Poi Phet was, I've always thought that's all right. That one's straightforward. The other one, you get all kinds of shady bloody people coming up to you and saying, can I have your passport? And they're just trying it on. They're not official. They just want to get hold of your passport so they can blackmail you. But Poi Phet doesn't seem that bad, really. Not really. Robert Williamson, giant ibis bus runs between Bangkok and Ho Chi Minh City. That's a long journey, that. Passing through Poi Phet, Siam Reap, Phnom Penh. And is it really? Oh, is it really? Yeah. Well, I've done the journey from Pattaya to Siam Reap many times. I've never been from Bangkok to Siam Reap, and I think any further than that, about 9 hours is my limit. Okay. Kipax 521 Finnair with luggage booked in March for November. Good for you. That sounds bloody good stuff there. Bloody good stuff. Jason, steady on the beard again. Page just one. Marcus, okay. Thank you for that. David Mayer, you should get a PO box so we can send you a cards, my holiday hotspots. Okay, there you go. Pages one. Mark is already a legend in Eddie Chat. Yeah, absolutely. Mark's a good guy. He's a good guy. Shane W. Great Britain is beautiful. It's yeah, it is. It is. It's got lovely trees and all that. But I mean, it depends how you know. If you want to stay in Britain all your life, fine. But it's it's not the place that I want to be right now. Well, in the future. Mark Hollick. Eddie, I sent you the 1975 song about Minnesota, the Northern Lights band record. Okay, I'll have a listen to that later. Mark's a Facebook friend of mine, so yeah, thanks for that, mate. Anyway, thanks for that. The Northern Lights, I think I do recall that one. David Coleman, Eddie made another video of Angkor Wat. I really like the last one. What one she made? It made another. Eddie, make another video of Angkor Wat. I really like the last one. I think you mean me and you, mate. I did do videos of Angkor Wat. I've actually been there 3 times. I did 2 videos about some years ago about Angkor Wat. And it is what it is, really. Don't forget, tempos don't always go down well on this channel. Just bear that in mind. Tony Stead, sun, sandy beach, lovely cold ladies, perfect retirement. Okay, fine. I'm going to skip forward in the chat because I know that I've fallen behind. I know that I've fallen behind. Oh my god! Oh my god! We got a bloody troll here. It's just a lonely beer drinking old man. Oh my God Almighty! God Almighty! Okay, all right. There you go. Okay, better luck next time, mate. Oh, I'm miles behind. Absolutely bloody miles behind. Absolutely miles behind the chat. I really do apologize. I fall behind the trap. But there's a lot of people. A lot of people in the chat. Okay, Dave Andrew, £20 super chat. Thank you for that, Dave. I really appreciate. I had you back on 1st of September to Koh Chang for 20 days. Koh Chang's bloody good. There's a cracking young lad that I met there. Called Paul while I was out there. He lives out there. He's got a Facebook group out there. He's got a family and all that. And I messaged him today, and he said Koh Chang is getting back to get together again. When I was out there early this year, obviously it was during the pandemic and things were very, very quiet. But it'd be nice to see that place when it's up and running again. I like that place, Kai Bay. You're in Koh Chang for 20 days. Good for you, mate. Good for you. Good for you. I even like that hotel that I stayed in, the Duckling Hotel. Funny enough, the people who run that hotel, the Swedish bloke and his wife, they said they seen that video and they sent me a message today, which is very, very nice of them. So yeah, it's good for you, mate. Listen, if I've skipped an awful lot of the chat, okay, I really do apologize. I really, really do apologize. I'm just going to go through them. Let's see. I'm just going to go through the chat to see who's mentioned. Certain people. Let me see now. Let me see. Let me see. Anyway, let me just have a little look. And who's actually mentioned places. David Coleman. I was in El Salvador when things kicked off. People were getting shot in the street. Oh God! I flew through El Salvador. Robbie Southern, Chiang Mai could be a good place to retire. I've been to Chiang Mai a few times. Some people love Chiang Mai. Chiang Mai has always had a strong expat community, and I've never really been sure why. I've never. Maybe they know something I don't know, but I mean, it doesn't really. You wander around Chiang Mai and it doesn't really excite in a way. I've wandered around Chiang Mai and I thought, why would people be so keen to retire there? But maybe it's a quiet place. Maybe there's a lot more going on there than what I've seen. I mean, the retirees there seem to be happy enough. Who's this? Well, surely you will retire in a maximum mongering place. No, no. I think the idea of retiring is that if you retired in a place in Southeast Asia, you wouldn't be the same as when you're traveling. And I'm not the same traveler as I used to be anyway. I'm more laid back now. I'm not necessarily. And you retire to have a good life there. And when you want a bit of the action, then, it would be good if you could maybe be close to places where you could get it like. But no, that's not the reason at all. Okay, let me see. David Coleman, you have to have a lot of money to pay for the hospital stay in Thailand. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely, mate. Absolutely. You've got to get your insurance sorted out. I mean, the thing is, if you're British, it's the easiest thing in the world to think, oh, well, I'm British. I can always go back to England and I've got the national health. No, wrong. If you've been out of England for more than 6 months and you develop a serious issue, you may not necessarily be entitled to NHS treatment, regardless of whether you paid into it. So it's you really, really do have to be careful. You've got to make damn sure that you're fully insured. Oh, let's see. Let's see. Scott J. Would you go to Taiwan again, Eddie? I don't know. I mean, I went there only for 2 weeks. Only for 2 weeks, but I really only had 1 week there because I was knocked for six. I had food poisoning, and it was bloody awful. It was, but I'm sure there's a lot of good places to see there. I liked it quite a lot. It's not the best place if you're hunting ladies and all this kind of stuff, but it's a nice little country. Simon and Siam. If I retired, I'd love to buy a small resort in Koh Chang. That sounds good. That sounds good. Koh Chang's a good place. I've been through this before, but Koh Chang's one of the biggest islands in Thailand, and it's also quite easy to get to from Bangkok or even Pattaya. It doesn't take that long. You can get there by road and ferry. But the most well-known place in Koh Chang is probably my least favorite. That's that white sand beach. It's all right, and it's the liveliest place, but it's a little bit bland. I actually found. I mean, you wander through the town centre of the high street of White Sand Beach, and you don't feel like you're on an island. I think a place like Kai Bay, yeah, that's a better place. I wouldn't mind visiting that place again. Kipax, enjoy it, mate. Nowhere is perfect, but here at the moment it is crazy. The future is very worrying for everyone. Madness for the fifth richest country in the world. Yeah, well, yeah, things are getting crazy. Okay, let me see now. Let me see. Alan Burns. Okay, we're getting construct. We're starting to name places now. Alan Burns. I had Hua Hin would be a great place if you're 60 or over. Good in between for traveling to Bangkok or Phuket. Yeah, absolutely. Bangkok's a good. Sorry, Hua Hin is a good place. It's got a lot going for it, and a lot of people say that Hua Hin is or Hua Hin is their favorite place in Thailand. I've been there a couple of times, including quite recently, and I like the place, but I don't love it. It's got a nice beach. It's a pleasant place. It's got a fair bit of nightlife under normal circumstances. It's got shopping malls. Why it's a good place. It's a good place, and I can understand why a lot of people would say this is the place where I want to retire. I mean, I think Hua Hin will be a better place than Chiang Mai because Hua Hin's got a beach. But it didn't really. I like Hua Hin, but I didn't feel it was a rocket to the moon. I didn't really feel while I was there that this is the place where I, want to live for the rest of my life. I didn't really feel that way, but I know a lot of people like that place. Who's that? What? You need your hair cut, Ed? I will get my hair cut. I will get my hair cut. I had those hair trimmers, but I don't know if you know this, but last week I had a terrible problem with my shoulder. And I still struggle to move my arm properly. So I'm waiting for it till it heals up a little bit better, before I get the hair cutters out. Richard, hi Eddie, booked later this month, 2 weeks Pattaya, 2 weeks Philippines, and then 4 more weeks in Thailand. Even Air Premium Economy, 1,485 return London to Bangkok. Well, that sounds expensive flight, but you're going there, and that sounds bloody good. Booked later this month, so that's you're going at the end of August. Good for you, mate. Good for you. I hope it's really good. So this flight, 2 weeks Pattaya, 2 weeks Philippines, and 4 weeks. So this price for the that you pay 1,000. This is for all of those flights, then, is it? It's for all those flights. That would make sense. Kipex, Finnair wanted me to stay for 17. Oh, geez, I hate it. I hate being stuck at airports and all. Bloody awful. Absolutely awful. JB, if I was stuck at an airport for 9 hours, I'd probably schedule in half a dozen tugs. The idea of being I've had loads and loads of flight, and they're absolutely dreadful. I don't like airports, and the idea. No one can convince me that the best way to get from Pattaya to Siem Reap is not the road. The road is still the best way. I know it's a little bit of hassle, but that minibus can pick you up at your hotel in Pattaya at 8:30 in the morning, and you can be at your hotel in Siem Reap at 5:30 in the evening. That's 9 hours, and that's bloody good, that I'd say. Don't need aeroplanes. David Mayer, I'm retired Westerners abroad, usually grumpy old men. Yeah, okay. Roberts Hill, November the 9th and off. Good for you, mate. Delayed Dave, I'm happy to stay in the UK. I retired 2 years ago, age 54. Good for you, mate. I like having a base and I can travel when I want. No need to retire abroad to do that. Okay, that's great. That's good for you, Dave. Good for you, mate. Anyway, nice to hear that you're very contented. Good for you, mate. Why, oh, why? Are Pinoy women the most crazy? Well, you've met a few crazy, Filipino. I've met a few crazy Filipino, but then again, I've met a few crazy Thais and Cambodians and whatever. Well, one thing I do find about the Cambodians, more the women, more than any other group, they are funny when they're drunk. Whenever you see a drunk Cambodian girl, they're funny. They are damn funny. They really, really are. And I've seen a few drunk Vietnamese ones. Thai girls don't tend to get that drunk, do they? I know someone who had a Cambodian girl, beautiful girl as well, and she'd done something really dreadful. They were in a bar and she had the motorbike, and she was riding him home, and she got on the bike and he got on the back of the bike, and it didn't twig that she'd had about God knows how many Jack Daniels, and she rode like a bloody maniac. And be careful. If your lady is riding you home on the back of her motorbike, just make sure you know how many Jack Daniels she's had. Harold Betterson, for me, it's southern Spain with trips to Prague, Thailand, and Dominican Republic. That sounds good. Sounds like a good life, mate. Sounds like a good life. Richard, been to Philippines many times. Cebu or Davao, very good place. I went to Cebu many years ago, and it was a bit of a dive, really, bit of a dive. But maybe other people see it differently. McLaren F1 race, don't knock goats, but that loves them. Oh, goats are lovely, beautiful animals. Jibber and Greg, every monger and his dog seems to be going back in November. Going to be a monger sausage fest. Well, it'll be, I think this year in Thailand, it will be a good peak season. If it carries on, the anti seems to be fading away, or maybe totally fading away. If it carries on like that, I hope, I really, really sincerely hope it's going to be a really good year this year. Paul Hoskin, but what exactly is paradise? My 20-stone wife later on tonight. Believe that and you believe anything. Farang travels nowhere better than the UK. Okay, UK is a great country, but where do you go for excitement? I'd rather go to Thailand personally. David Coleman, I have 5 months ago, 6 months in Toronto, 6 months traveling. It's the safe way. Yeah, that sounds great. Good for you, mate. Good for you. JB, I like ladies with big bottoms, but I don't like dangerous places. Where should I retire? Blackpool. You know, you get plenty of big bottom ladies in Blackpool. I think that place, Dominican Republic. I've never actually been there personally, but I've seen videos on Dominican Republic. And they all have, big, like those Beryl Kook paintings. They all have big bums, don't they? The women there. I mean, some guys actually like that. S travels 4K. Economies are unstable, so right now is not the right time yet. Okay, fine. Thanks for that. Let me see. Slow roasted. Living in the less popular places is more fun if you can learn the local language well. It's not for everyone, though. Yeah. I mean, some of those places in Thailand, some of those more rural places, I haven't really, been bowled over by them. I mean, quite recently, the last trip, I stayed in, I wouldn't say it's a rural place, but it's a very Thai town. It was called Chumpon. That's before I went to the islands. And I thought it was a very, very dull place. And it's just, at the end of the day, I'm a Farang, as you probably are. And I want Farang stuff. There was only one bar in that town, it seemed to me, and that closed about 9 o'clock. I like a nice late night bar, and I like a bit of the old Western stuff as well. So it sounds, it sounds like it's more fun living in less populous places, maybe rural places. But if you're not used to it, if it's not your culture, it can probably get very dull after a while. Wildcat 66. Stay in UK for pension and healthcare and go to Pattaya 4 times a year until you can't. Then watch porn in your care home. That sounds like a very, very well thought out and very, very happy retirement. Good for you, mate. Anyway. Martin Ryder, border town in Cambodia, Koh Kong. I saw Khmer Rouge soldiers back in the 90s. Used to get a massage for $2. Your time, $10. Oh, they were the days. I stayed in that town, that border town, Koh Kong. First time I went to Cambodia, I actually booked the journey from a little booth on Second Road in Pattaya, and it was. I thought, I've been to the other country, but I thought I'll finally go to Cambodia, and I seem to recall it was a journey from Pattaya to Koh Rong, crossing over the border, and that border was all kinds of iffy people were there. The other one, Boy Pet's all right, but that border was really quite dreadful. And I thought that he paid for the hotel as part of the package, and it was a right dump. It was a bloody dump with bloody rats coming under the door and all. God, rubbish! Oh, I thought this is dreadful. This is dreadful. So, but then the following day, I managed to get to, from Koh Rong to Chinookville, and that was my first visit to Chinookville. This is about 15 years ago, and I didn't really like Chinook. Very, very cheap, and good things about it. But it seems to be full of surfer dudes in them days. Young men and men with bloody long, curly, bleached hair. Doing surfing. I thought this isn't the right place for me. For me, it's all. But then I went on to Phnom Penh, and I thought Phnom Penh was terrific. That was my first visit to Cambodia. Daniel Peters, Great Britain is beautiful, but there isn't an abundance of 40 kilogram spinners, though. Okay. Great Britain is beautiful. Yeah. If you're driving through the beautiful rural countryside and you see the magnificent trees that we have in the UK, it probably is beautiful. But you wander through your local high street with loads of bloody druggies and spice heads and alcoholics and all of that, and people, aggressive beggars standing in front of you wanting money from you and all that. It doesn't seem so bloody beautiful then, believe me. Not where I live. Let's see. That's for I'm afraid you're everybody, but no, we don't want any silliness. We've had enough of all of that now. JB, the people in my office always talk about anger what whenever I walk into the room. It must be my neck. Well, why do they talk about anger what? It's a wonderful temple, but it's not something that you want to talk about every day. Strange. Humongous. Hey, Eddie, why didn't you put the slow version on the chat so you don't get left behind? It's not as easy as that, mate. It's not as easy as that. I know we're a bit behind with the chat, but I do get to people eventually. What's the vlog of Batai? Looks like no, I'm not going to put that one off. Kim Ferran from the jungle. Martin, I saw some bad stuff in Co Wrong. Women in cages that is bloody bad. That is. I'm glad I didn't say anything like that. Philip Janik, Southern Mexico, up in the mountain, Pueblo Maya, San Cristobal, cheap and laid back. Okay, good for you. Thanks for your recommendation, mate. Michael DiCaprio. Hi, Eddie from Swansea. You need to visit Udon Thani. Yeah, but you never know. It could be on the menu. I've never actually been to the Isan area. I mean, the north in northern Thailand, I've been to Chiang Mai a few times, and also to Sukhothai. I've been there. I've never actually been to the Isan area. Maybe Udon Thani is worth a visit. You never know. You never know. Smurfits, the question is, where in Thailand is the best place to retire? Where in Thailand is the best? Well, Thailand's got an abundance of places that, everyone's got their own favourite. Hua Hin, Pattaya, Phuket, Chiang Mai. So there is a lot of places. Cambodia has less choice, really. But that's what this chat is all about. Let me see. Where are we now? Tintin, the reasonably priced beers are on. Tell us your number one country first, then we can pick a town. I think I would hope if I retired abroad, I would like to think that I wouldn't become a bloody alcoholic. I mean, some would say that I already am one, and I don't think I am. I like a drink of a night time and a couple of cans in the daytime, but this is the worst thing about retiring abroad. People, guys that retire abroad and they're tempted by all that the country has to offer, the scenery, the excitement and everything. The problem is they soon lose the plot and they end up going to the same bars day and night. And the next thing you know, they're drinking 14 pints of beer a day. I would like to think that wouldn't happen to me. I really, really would. I'd have to have something to do. Okay, slow rotor, leaving for good soon. I'm actually not retiring so young, but joining my fiance. However, the UK is a failed society. Wouldn't want to bring up children here at all. It's I mean, the UK is it's not as pleasant as green and beautiful place as it used to be. I look at the news every day and I see terrible things happening in the UK. I see murders and it's some of them are within families and families made and it's all kinds of heinous things going on here. There's all kinds of heinous things going on in the UK. It's no longer. Do you know something? Do you know something? I mean, I've been watching this channel of very, very expensive properties in London. I don't know why I'm watching. I'm never going to be able to afford a bloody £1 million house. I'm never going to be able to afford nothing like that. But I suppose you call it property porn. Very, very well made, this channel. And I watched some luxury apartments in London. Fantastic if you've got the money. Fantastic. But I also watched a video, a really, really good video of I think it was a £4 million house in Surrey. Now, Surrey is close to London. It's a beautiful county. It's where like the rich Londoners want to live, because they're in striking distance to London. and it's a beautiful big house. I think it was about 4 million. They showed around this beautiful big house, looked absolutely lovely, and then they went into one of the bedrooms, and they said, right, this is this beautiful big bedroom, and next to the bed they had these panic buttons in case any burglars break into your house, you know, while you're in bed, in case any burglars break in. And they also showed in that house they have a safe room, right? A room where if burglars get into your house, then you've got somewhere to go and hide away from them. And you know, I just you buy a £4 million house in a beautiful place like Surrey, and you still need a bloody panic button beside your bed in case some bastard breaks in the middle of the night. You know, you can't even, if you can't feel safe in your own home, where can you feel safe? It's sad, you know, because we don't really have justice. Before I get on that, my own personal opinion about this, by the way, I actually think that the crime of burglary is a category A crime. It should be, and I think burglary should carry a mandatory life sentence. That's my own opinion. But anyway, I've said my piece on that one anyway. But the problem with Britain, it's a bloody soft touch country. We let people get away with murder. Let's see now. Big up Steady Eddie. Let's see. Graham Johnson. The thing about retiring abroad is that you have to think about your pension and your health insurance. Yeah, absolutely, Graham. Absolutely. Nice to hear from you, mate. Graham lives in Spain as well, by the way, in case you don't know. Robbie Southern. Work hard, play hard, mate. Can't fault you. We're a long time dead. Absolutely, mate. Well, you know. I mean, last week I had this terrible pain, and after finish my stream, I had to finish because there was so much pain, and I thought that night something might have happened. I could die in bed. You know what I mean? I thought, you could die anytime. I know you've got to have your health insurance when you go abroad, but at the end of the day, it doesn't pay to worry too much. I mean, you've got to live your life. I mean, you really, really have got to live your life. I either die here or I die in some exotic country. S Travels, folk. Economies are unstable, so right now is not the right time yet. Okay, thanks for that. Tintin, you said to yourself, Eddie, spend enough time somewhere, it will lose its shine. So Chiang Mai, Pattaya, tomatoes. Okay. David Coleman, I really did like Guatemala. The weather is perfect. The people are nice. Cheap bedding and food. Girls are nice. Okay, fine. Thank you. Martin Ryder, have a go and drink a bottle of red. Catch you later on Peter's Manga Show on Friday. Okay, thanks for that, Martin. Nice of you to turn up. Life of Razy, if you're home based in Thailand, think about how good the travel will be on nearby places. Not so far on the flights. Okay. Paul Smith, just going to grab this second bit of that can. Yo! At least I'm drinking slowly anyway. Only drink half a can at a time. There we go. Oh, nice crony. Oh my God! Do you know something? I've got another delivery from Mazda tomorrow. The last one was less than 2 weeks ago. The last time I brought mountains of beer and all kinds of stuff, and it's almost all gone now. Oh, Jesus Christ! Paul Smith, doesn't Chiang Mai have a terrible problem with air quality? Something to do with annual burnings? I've heard about that. I think that happens in the springtime, doesn't it? Philip Janet, plenty of European female backpackers too have intense conversation and other things with no heat stroke though, yeah? Okay. What's that? Smurfits, safety wing insurance, $42 a month, best thing ever. Really? Okay, thanks for that. Farhan can buy land in Thailand now, 1,600 acres max. Well, that's a big house, isn't it? Farhan have to invest 40 million Thai baht. JJ, I think Cambodia is the right place to retire. Okay. Robbie Sutton, the 6 years I watched Kevin Thailand. He was a great vlogger. Yeah, I used to watch Kevin Thailand as well. I thought he was really, really good. David Coleman, same in Canada. After return every 6 months of my health insurance. You see, it's not unusual, really, is it? I mean, people going abroad for 6 months. There's quite a few of us who do it. People who go away. I mean, if you're out of the country for 6 months in England, then it can cause problems with your national health. I mean, I in the last year I've been away for 7 months, but I kind of break it up a bit. Break it up a bit, piece at a time. Chopper Harris, just updated my manga outfit. Chang vest with all grey hairs can pop out. Cargo shorts, Crocs or sandals with long white socks. Jesus, I bet you're a big hit with the girls. Touch for Ang, I see some ladies from Madagascar in Pattaya. Really? Is that where they're from? I've seen some Africans there. I've seen more Africans in Bangkok. Is your favourite food pork chops and chips, followed by apple pie and ice cream? Well, we'll start with that one, yeah. Kipax, doing a week in Koh Chang, can't wait. Good for you, mate. Good for you. Good for you. Koh Chang's excellent. I wouldn't mind another visit to Kai Bay. I'd never been there before. Obviously, it was all very, very quiet the last time I went there. But if that beefs up, then good place, good place. Bart fines and powder lines. Pattaya is different. I think you mean definitely had its day. No, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that. Pattaya will run and run and run. It will run and run. Kipax, I'm staying. Oh, sorry, Kipax. I know you've mentioned this before. Don't take my word for everything. A lot of people love White Sands. Kipax, I'm staying at White Sands, but Eddie hates it. He's put me right off it. No, don't take my word. I'm a lone voice. I'm not saying that I hate it. I'm just saying it's not the right place for me. A lot of people like White Sands. Don't listen to me. Slow roasted, although some would describe you as a sexpat, because we'll call worse than that. Your channel gives a better and more realistic perspective of living in Asia than standard we'd enjoy a backpacker scum. Okay, thanks for that, mate. I'll take that as a compliment. I'm gonna skip forward in the chat because we get miles behind on it. We really, really do get miles behind. I'm really sorry about this. Oh, Jesus, God, I am absolutely mega. About bloody 20 years behind on the chat. I'll tell you what I'll do. Let me see. Okay, let me see. Where am I now? Oh, my God almighty. Okay, Mark Holland, thank you for that super chat, my friend. $125. That is absolutely so kind of you, mate. That really is kind. 1975 performer, Northern Light, Minnesota. I can almost smell the air. I can feel their hands and my feet in the sand in the lakes, on the trees back home. Oh, I'm sweating now at this. Minnesota. Well, I'll make it back. You can count someday. I'll be coming your way. I probably do know that song. I probably have heard it. I can't think of it offhand, but it sounds lovely anyway. And I'll check that out later. Mark, cheers, mate. I really, really do appreciate that. And that will go towards my travels anyway. So hope you're having a great evening anyway. And thanks for that super chat, mate. Let's go back in the chat because there was other things there that I missed. I know I'm miles and miles behind it. To be fair, there's I've seen some vloggers who don't answer the chat. At least I make an effort. I know I fall well behind. I know I fall well behind. Let's see. Jesus, oh my God Almighty! I'm gonna have to. Sorry, I'm gonna have to. I know I've lost the chat. Nick Ross, this chat is about the best place to retire to, and it's not anywhere in Thailand. Okay, I haven't told you which place I'm thinking of yet. I will do in a minute. You might disagree. Philip Chanak, too bad Thailand doesn't have a city like Dalat in Vietnam. I've been to Dalat in Vietnam. It's out in the mountains, and it's a nice place. Thailand doesn't have a city like Dalat. I don't know. I think it does. I think it does. In what way is it not like it? Yours travels. I don't think I'm an alcoholic. I only drink a night and a couple of beers in a day. Okay, all right, thank you. Sonny Liston, Eddie, my best mate died yesterday, 55. Don't waste time, mate. Yeah, that's a serious issue. Yeah, absolutely. You can go anywhere. I thought it was bloody dying last week. But, oh, well, sorry to hear that anyway, mate. Roy Gold. Roy Gold is retired in Jom TM. That's a good place, isn't it? Sure, Bangkok is great, but I would get tired of the big city. Though it does have nice parks and riverside areas. All depends what company you're with. Okay, thanks for that, Roy. Thanks for that. Richard, I heard all the soapies are now frequented by Indian guys being paid for his bonuses from their jobs in India. Sloppy seconds after that, not for me. Okay, I'm not going to go into that anymore. Bitcoin Baron. Eddie, I just bought beachfront condos in South Greenland. It's getting warm and pleasant there. Good for you, mate. Someone's got to go there. Okay. Let's see. Cake. Sorry, Eddie, but you're already there, mate. Medical definition of alcoholism. 1. Continued excessive or compulsive use of alcoholic drinks. Yeah, okay, yeah. All right, give me that one. Shane, UK's being invaded one dinghy at a time. So sad. It's funny, these people are, risking their lives to get over there, and the rest of us want to bloody leave the place. It's the thing about the dinghy divers. I mean, they have the opportunity to stay in France, which is a safe country, but they don't want to stay in France. They want to come to England, risk their lives crossing the Channel. Why is that? It's obvious because England's a soft touch. France obviously isn't a soft touch like we are. That's the answer. Robert Williamson. Yes, Bangkok is fantastic. I love it there, but also more expensive than smaller Thai cities away from the tourist traps. I'll live in Cambodia and visit Bangkok now and then. Okay, good for you. The Baldy vlogger, is Lisa about tonight? Nah, she's probably knocking off some bloody, Tunisian fella. So some Tunisian waiter. What's this? Kipax, more food bank now in the UK than ever, even at war times. Yeah, if anybody's sad. Isan, man, nice to hear from you, mate. Well, I'm not gonna put that comment up there because we want to keep it cheerful. Kenny Bug, I'll buy my bits and pieces today. Ready to pack for Thailand. 3 weeks and counting. Okay, good for you. I've got 3 months and counting. It seems like a long way away, but good for you, mate. Roy Jones, Albanians have taken over the ferrying of dinghy divers. They got summer sail on $3.5 guaranteed to land in the UK with 20. What I'd like to know, I mean, you hear about these asylum seekers, these dinghy divers paying thousands of pounds to be ferried across illegally. And where did he get the thousands of pounds? I thought these guys don't have 2 pennies to rub together. Stephen Forex, nice to hear from you, mate. Retirement is not a vacation. Best to be out of the city, but not too far, so you can access services like airports, healthcare, etc. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I wouldn't want to be stuck in a mountain place. I like rural places to visit, but I wouldn't want to live there. I wouldn't want to be in a place where everything goes bloody dark at night. I'd still like a place where I could leave home and walk a brief while and go to visit like a nice little corner bar or whatever. We'll travel forever. If you're in the UK is dangerous, take a look at the USA. Yeah, you're absolutely. I've seen some films of Philadelphia and a place like that. David Coleman, if you wear a good watch in London, you will not last 10 minutes on the street. Crime is out of control. I haven't been to London for years, really, except for Heathrow Airport. I used to live there at one time. But I've seen those documentaries about moped snatchers, snatching people's mobile. I mean, the thing is, if you've got a mobile phone, expensive smartphone. I mean, why the hell are you going to be on the streets of London, like, looking at Facebook, and then these guys come up on the motorbikes and snatch it, and it's really dreadful. And you hear also, I said a moment ago about people who live in nice big houses, and they have to have a bloody panic button beside the bed in case somebody breaks in. There was a footballer, was his Ashley Cole? A famous footballer. He played for Chelsea, and he probably plays for someone else now. He was in his luxury home with his family and his children, and these burglars, invaded the house. They got a ladder and he climbed up, and I think one of the burglars, tied him. They held him at knife point, and his poor missus, his wife, was locking herself in the room for. What a terrifying experience. The problem is we're too bloody soft in this country. We're too soft with criminals. That's the problem in this country. That's what pisses me off. Let's see. Philip Janik, they broke into Ozzy's house in the GB. Kipax needs to be like the USA and put people away for 80 years. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. We had. I mean, I don't want to go too much into the crime there, but this week there's been a couple of court cases where murderers, that policeman who murdered that poor woman during lockdown, he coasted into his car and because he said she was out when she shouldn't have been. Absolutely, he's gone to the Court of Appeal, appealing against his full life sentence. And then there's another guy who murdered two of his wives. One of them was an authoress, and he I think he poisoned, and now he's appealing against his full life sentence. Too bloody soft. I don't want to get on my high horse about it, but personally, also says that personally. I mean, I personally would, out of my own pocket, I'd pay for the bloody good rope. That's what I'd do. Put them in prison indefinitely, with their appealing against. I mean, they only murdered. I'm not going to go into any more of that. At least in America, they have the death penalty. So let's see. Mickey P. I have a place in Krabi. If I lived in Pattaya or Patpong, I would be dead in no time at all. No self-control. Yeah, that's right. I mean, I think sometimes if you're going to live in a place, it's probably better to live in a quieter, more reasonable place. And then when you want the action excitement, you don't have to go very far to get it. That makes sense. Why? Eddie, you pronounce Marge's curry in a weird way. What one should say, Marge's? I don't even know that. Don't recall saying Marge. Okay. Well, let's see. Okay. Roy Gold. Sorry, I've got to scratch it. I've got itchy bloody nose here. I don't know what comes. I've had a bit of hay fever. Hay fever. I've been sniffling it. Bloody hell. I went for a walk, and I think it must be hay fever. Roy Gold. Never had any problems with crime in Jomtien. It's very safe. Sure, there's poverty and homeless people, but it's manageable in most places I've been to. Yeah, I had this conversation with a good friend of mine last night. He was planning on moving out to the Philippines in the next couple of years. There is a big difference in a big difference, no doubt about it, between Thailand and the Philippines when it comes to personal safety. Thailand's very, very safe. There are scams in Thailand, and but if you use your common sense, you tend to find that the Thais are fine, and you can walk around at night time, and it's very, very safe. The Philippines is a different kettle of fish. It is a different kettle of fish. I've come across a few quite aggressive Filipinos while I was out there. You've got to be realistic about that. The Philippines is not Thailand. Let me see. This badger, Denango Koh Samui. I wasn't really massively bowled over by either of them. I was in Da Nang. It's a developing city, big city as well, in Vietnam. It's good, but I mean, it wasn't a rocket to the moon. And Koh Samui, I probably didn't see Koh Samui at its best because a lot of those bars and whatever had gone out of business. So I didn't really see Koh Samui at its best. Tim, what will you do for all your English comforts? Pork pies? I might learn how to make them. David Coleman, I love Cuba, but I don't think I could retire in a communist country. Okay, Cuba is terrific. I'm not even sure. Could you retire there if you wanted to? Let me see. Thomas Streeter, what about Eastern Europe, Bulgaria, Hungary, etc.? Cheap countries to live in and beautiful women. They're cold of a winter time. That's the problem with them. Excuse me, I'll be back in a moment. Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus. Where does this come from? I'm sure it's hay fever. It's got to be hay fever. Stephen Forex, have you tried those knockoff Aldi beer clones? They do a Kronenberg for sure. Some are pretty good and loads cheaper. I don't really shop at Aldi. I mean, I've only been there a couple of times. I wasn't overly impressed with that. I know what you mean. They put them in a very, very similar can. So you glance at the can, you think that's a crony when it's not really. I know what you mean. I am told Filipino girlfriend and their daughter visiting at the moment. She loves the UK, hates the Philippines. Maybe grass always looks greener. Okay, that's interesting to hear. Let's see. Paul Hoskin, has anyone been a victim of crime in Thailand? I never have. Isa, man, I heard that you now have to show proof of who you are, such as your passport, and proof of where you live, such as a utility bill. Let me see. Let me see now. Stephen Forex, you can always snowbird and spend the whole winter abroad and half the year in the UK. Well, that's more or less what I've been doing over the past, probably 10, no, more longer than that, closer to maybe 14 years now. Mike, I wouldn't pay $42 a month for health insurance. I'd rather keep the money, take the risk, and have no insurance. 42, if that's $42 a month for health insurance, living abroad, 42, that's 420, that's about 500 quid, $500 a year. That sounds very, very cheap. If that was really, really good, I'd take it. That sounds very, very cheap. Robert Williamson, Eddie, smoky season in Chiang Mai, a couple of months a year. Chiang Mai sits in a valley, and the smoke from farmers burning fields just sort of sits there. And I've heard about that. I've never actually been to Chiang Mai at that time of year. Let's see. Andrew McIver. I struggled in Battaya. No wingman. I didn't have confidence to party hard. Mark Ollig, it's a good song. Yeah, I'll take a look at that later, Mark. I will take a good look at that anyway. And thanks again for that super chat, mate. Really appreciate that. Let's see. Stephen Forex, I wanted to move to the States once upon a time, but the health cost would be insane for me. See, the thing is, I mean, we take our national health system for granted. But then, to be honest with you, during the pandemic, it lost a lot of credibility. I've had things wrong with me in the last couple of years, nothing too serious. But, I couldn't, unless you're at the Antares, they didn't want to know, really. Red's wine, that's mental health care can cost tens of thousands. Let me see. Yeah, Red's wine, that's bloody good. Imagine living constantly in fear of something happening. Yeah, you're talking about those people who live in that £4 million house in Surrey where they have to have a bloody safe room and a panic button beside the bed. Oh, terrible, dreadful. I'm just going to go a little bit further. Johnny B's here. Johnny B's here. Johnny B, hi Eddie. What locations are you looking to go in Thailand? Will you island hop again? To be honest with you, the only I travelled around Thailand early this year, didn't I? It was Bangkok, it was mainly Pattaya, and I might just do something in Pattaya that I've never done before. I might actually rent a condo for a month. That would be interesting. I've never actually done that before. Maybe a visit to Bangkok, and I wouldn't mind another visit to Koh Chang or Koh Samet. Yeah, there could be. I wouldn't be going to the other islands though, because the fact is, Koh Samet and Koh Chang, they're very, very close, really, to Pattaya and Bangkok. Let me see. Yeah, Mark Ollig, cheers to everyone here. Yeah, thanks for that. Okay, it's been a good little chat tonight. Been a good little chat. It's been a good little chat tonight. Good crew in tonight. Still 341 people in the chat. I'm sure I've got bloody mosquitoes flying around, and something. I mean, it's a hot, sweaty day today. It's quite a humid day today. Kipax, you should be able to leave and still use the NHS. After all, you've been paying into the system all your life. Well, I don't know. It seems to me that people who come here, in dinghies, get more bloody access to it than we get. Stephen Forex, I used to have a Dutch friend, but all I've ever learned was hoi and doi. I said English was so damn good. Okay. And nomads overseas, also doing shopping list on Amazon, trying to plan ahead for stuff I won't find in Asia. I think the version of whatever. Probably won't even fit into my arm. Robert Williamson, we should check out some of the smaller cities in Thailand and Cambodia and Malaysia that are off the beaten tourist track. Might find some beautiful, inexpensive gems. I mean, could you live in a small little place in one of those countries? A little off the beaten track place. Some people could. Some people like that sort of thing. I don't think I could. I mean, I think I'd have to live in not a big city like Bangkok, but somewhere that's smaller and has plenty of bars, even though I wouldn't like to think that I'd be getting drunk all the time. Some of these, where everything I need is within walking distance. I wouldn't like to live in a place where everything closes at 9 o'clock at night. Let me see. Okay. McLaren F1 race. Ed goes the extra mile for us. Thank you. Thanks for that, mate. Karim Farang from the jungle. I lived in Minnesota when I was younger. It was a lovely place back in the 1980s. I'd like to visit sometime. I really would like to visit. One of these days I must visit. America. Let's see. JJ, Siam Reap is a good town. It's a good town. The thing is, I mean, I'm going to tell you that the place that I've been thinking of as the perfect, I won't use the word perfect. I mean, that's a bit much, but Chiang Mai, no, what am I saying? Well, Siam Reap, that could well be an ideal. I won't say perfect. There's no such thing as perfect. It could well be an ideal place to retire because it's a place that I know really well. It's such a pleasant town. It's a very, very pleasant. Now it used to be really great. It used to have loads of lovely women and all this kind of stuff. But if I retired there, I wouldn't be retiring there for that reason. I mean, you've also got other places. But one of the good things about Siam Reap is its location. It doesn't have a beach. It's inland, but you are actually you place well for a place like Phnom Penh. They improved the road some years back, and I seem to recall. I think I recall that it would take about 8 hours by road to get from Siem Reap to Phnom Penh. But they cut the journey down by about 2 hours because they improved the roads some years back. So I think you can do that journey in 6 hours now by minibus, which isn't bad. And also from Siem Reap, you can get to Pattaya in 9 hours. So Siam Reap is a good location. I feel like I could live in Siam Reap because it is a very, very, very pleasant town. Really, really nice town, Siam Reap. It's the kind of place that you'd like to wake up to in the daytime, and it's got plenty of bars and whenever you need them. But if you really want to get away from there are other places which are, not light years away. So Siam Reap could well be a good place to, I'm actually thinking Siam Reap could be a good place to retire. I'm seriously thinking about that. Let me see. Mark Alec. Yes, Minnesota is a theatre of all seasons. I'd love to see it. I'd love to see it. I'm sure some of those places in America are absolutely fantastic to visit, winter or summer. The Cat's a good coffee. Thailand bound. Is this the real Thailand bound? Good evening, handsome man. It is really me and not at all. Okay, nice to hear from you, Peter. Peter does a great live chat every Friday evening. So nice to hear from you, Peter, anyway. And I'd love to join you sometime. Kim Farang, the winter in Minnesota was crazy. Snow to the top of my door. Uh, sounds fun. Sounds like fun. Robert Williamson, JJ, I love Siam Reap also. Spent 2 months there. Moving there later this year or early next year. It's a good place. It's a nice town. I mean, when I first seen it, I mean, I was faintly disappointed when I first seen Siam Reap because I've been led to believe it was this beautiful, authentic Asian town. Somewhere like Hoi An or somewhere like that. And it wasn't really. I want to see was pub street and happy hour and buy one get one free. And I thought it looks really tacky, but it grows on you. It really, really does. And Siam Reap is a most pleasant, very, very likable town. I wouldn't mind giving that a go. It's in a good location as well. I wouldn't mind giving plenty of bars with cheap booze and all that kind of stuff. FFS. I live in the countryside near Lotbury, but go to the side every 3 months. The best of both. That sounds good. Good for you, mate. Good for you. Good for you. Red wine, yes, political. I'm not going to repeat what you said. We get a bit smutty now. That one guy, my wife works at the soapy massage, makes more money than I did. Well, you go bloody Joe, you go work at the soapy massage then. Okay. Robert Hale, half pint glass. What's that all about? Well, I'm only drinking a half pint at a time because the thing is, I'm trying to drink slower. So what I do is I have a half pint and leave the other half of the can in the fridge. I'm trying to drink slower, so I'm not as bad as what you think. Canary spreads his wings. Why haven't you retired in South Asia? Ed. Well, because I've been working up until very, very recently, and I've been having not about I've been having me travels, and also I've never ever been 60 before in my life. This year has been the first year I've ever been 60. So now I'm, sort of thinking differently. Tintin, so when are you officially retired? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I could go back to work. I could go back. I've still got another 3 months before I go out to Thailand, and I'm going to be out there for 4 months. And then when I come back in March, I'll make a decision. Am I going to go or I'm going to stay or whatever? We'll see what happens anyway. Richard, can imagine the treatment migrants will get in Thailand if they arrived in small boats, okay? Kawasuki, just move to Thailand, Eddie. Use Bangkok as your base, and then you can always move elsewhere afterwards. Yep, absolutely. Bangkok would be a great place. I mean, I think it's a big, big grimy city. It's not really the ideal place to retire, but Bangkok's different. I mean, there's so much to that place, and also you can get to other places very, very easy. It's got 2 airports. You can get to other places very, very easy. So Bangkok is. I couldn't retire in Phnom Penh because it's a smaller city and it's a good city. But I've tried staying in Phnom Penh for quite a long time, and after a while, you just want to get away from it. Really, I don't think I can stay there all the time, really. Kenny Buck, at our age, if you can't have a few beers, travel and meet different people, then what's the point? Nothing better than listening to people's stories and having a laugh and being a beautiful country. Absolutely. The Baldy Vlogger sorted my cancelled BA flight from last week. Oh, bloody, don't mention them. And now I'll move to Qatar. Result. Yeah, I had this conversation with a friend of mine last night. He's going to the Philippines. There's 2 airlines I'd avoid really because they're becoming quite notorious for cancelling. One of them is short haul is EasyJet, and the other is BA. I'd invite. They seem to be cancelling left, right, and centre. I'd avoid them. Gordon McLeod, would you ever leave the UK permanently? Love the channel. Quite possibly. Yeah, if I found the right opportunity to retire abroad and all systems go and all that kind of stuff, I might never come back to the UK because I think the idea of retiring abroad is finding somewhere that you want to live for the rest of your life and staying there really. So I could, yeah. After the thing is, if I retired abroad, let's say somewhere like Siam Reap, and had a good life there. After a couple of years, it's quite possible that there may be little things that I'd miss about the UK. Because at the end of the day, I'm still British. I could possibly get. It's only human to get a little teensy-weensy bit homesick. It's quite possible. But I think I'd ditch it eventually. Don't forget, I originally come from a city called Liverpool. I left there with well over 30 years. I left there in the 1980s. And when I left Liverpool and moved south, after a while I started missing things about Liverpool. But now I wouldn't, I don't consider that my home anymore. It's not my home. I don't go there. So after a while, your homesickness, I think, wears off really. Santorini, just booked a week in Pattaya over Christmas. Good for you, mate. Good for you. And no matter overseas, I found it incredibly ironic that people are moving en masse from California to Mexico. I've heard that. I think almost 400,000 last year, and numbers going up as insane tax policies ramping up in California. Okay, well, okay, that's it. I've seen documentaries about that. Roy Gold. Ironic for us older guys want to leave the Western countries and people from poor countries want to come. Eventually, the demographic will change. I know it is. It's a bit bizarre, really. It's a bit bizarre. Open Bob. Philippines and Thailand, best places to retire. Okay, close enough, yeah. Let's see. D-Rock. Where is the best place in Thailand to find a good... Where is the best place in Thailand to find a good woman that's not from the bar scene? I wouldn't say the best place, the best town. I think it's It's probably in shopping malls or whatever. Or you might shop somewhere where you've got a lovely female attendant, female cashier or whatever. You may build a rapport and then you invite it out for a date. That's probably a good way to do it. I would have thought. Where is the best? Are we done that? We've done that one. Let me see. Okay, Nick Ross. I lived in Soy 19 in Bangkok for 2 years with side trips to Cambodia and Jakarta. Was bored after a few months. I've never been to Jakarta. I would like to go there, but I don't think the time is right, really. I'd like to try that. Cambodia, I know very well, very well. Let's see. I don't know if this is the real Thailand bound. Take it with a pinch of salt. Take it with a pinch of salt. Cats and Gun Coffee. Subscribe to my channel. Slays because I interviewed a woman. No, I'm not getting into all of that. I'm not getting into all of that. Because there's so many fakes. It could be the real. It could be not. I don't know. I don't know. Philip Janik. Philip Janik. Over 1.5 million US citizens living in Mexico now. Okay. Well, good. They're obviously moving there for a reason. David Coleman. Mark is a great guy. Yeah, Mark Ollig is a great guy. He's a great guy. And he also writes a great weekly column, telecommunications. And really, really, really interesting. So I look forward to seeing that one this week. Let's see, Open Bob. The Western societies will collapse because of this lawlessness and demographic replacement of native populations through uncontrolled immigration. Okay, you're entitled to your opinion. JJ, thanks, Rob. Do you watch Dave Does Cat? What do you think? I don't know that one. No name, Dirty Harry. Where have you go? Yeah, where's Dirty Harry when you need him? All these bloody, all these murders. You need Dirty Harry to get on the streets with his Magnum 44. Absolutely magnificent. Some wonderful lines in Dirty Harry. Absolutely, one of my favorites. I mean, so cool, Clint. So laconic. He can say so much with a few words. He's heading through the tunnel in San Francisco, isn't he? He's going for his rendezvous with the killer in Dirty Harry. And as he's got a bag full of money, and these three nasty-looking characters approach him. What's in a bag, man? What's in a bag? He says, my name's Callahan. What's in the bag, man? And when he realizes that they're not the people he's looking for, he says, get lost. And they start getting nasty. And then he hits one with the bag. And the next minute, he pulls out his Magnum 44, points at the guy's face and says, you don't listen, do you, asshole? Wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Sometimes you go through your, life and, some person bloody annoys you and gets on your nerves. And all you want to do is reach for your Magnum 44 and say, you don't listen, do you, asshole? Okay, Clint, but then I'm not Clint Eastwood. Clint is cool. I love Clint. Okay, Stephen Forex. That's why the US has gone over the UK. They're actually famous for the means to do it. Oh, yeah, okay, fine. Okay. What did you think, English people? What did you think some years ago, about 10 years ago? What did you think about the imprisonment of a man called Tony Martin? I thought it was bloody scandalous, personally. The man was asleep. The man was in his farmhouse having a peaceful evening. A couple of burglars broke in. A couple of burglars broke in, and that man's life was in danger because those burglars shouldn't have been there. And he shot them, and he ended up getting put in prison. Bloody diabolical. Bloody diabolical. Okay. Canary spreads his wings. What movies have you seen? We'll talk about movies on the other channel. Some people like that subject, some people don't. But anyway, let me just skip through the chat. Let's see. Thailand bound. I miss Paul Hoskin. Where is he? Yeah, where is he? Where is Paul Hoskin? And come to think of it, where's my 20-stone wife? They seem to disappear together at the same bloody time. Oh my God Almighty! Can't trust anyone. Okay, let me see now. Nick Ross, don't forget if you stay in Thailand for more than 180 days, you are subject to tax should you work or have income. Absolutely. Well, yeah, well, absolutely. Same. Yeah, Mazza. Thanks for answering my dirty dozen query, Ed. I had a dirty half dozen the last time I was in Thailand. Next time I'll aim for the dirty dozen. You dirty man. Good for you, anyway. Good for you. Let's see. Alex, Eddie, can hay fever give you headaches? Probably. I've definitely got something like that. Let's see. David Heisenberg, looking like Russell. Agree, Ed. Why do we bring the dingy people to the UK? Just pick them up and take them back to France. Well, why do we bring them to the UK? Well, we don't bring them to the UK. You know, they come here sort of surreptitiously, don't we? Because we're a soft touch country. Cats and good coffee. Gentlemen, enjoy Super Eddie live stream. I have to get up early tomorrow to work like a monger. Good for you, mate. Thanks for coming along, mate. Thanks for coming along. Yours travels. Kuala Lumpur looks like an interesting city. Definitely on my hit list. I went to Kuala Lumpur. It didn't quite do it for me. It didn't quite do it for me, Malaysia. But maybe definitely. Mark Oleg. I always liked how the British English pronounce the words processing and schedule. Yeah, some people say processing or processing. I pronounce things differently than other English people. Most English people say book. I say book. Process the words process and schedule. We pronounce it. I say schedule personally. Richard went in the tram. That was a nice place. It is quite a nice place, but it helps if you're Russian. Kamasuki. There's only one choice for you, Eddie, and that's Thailand. Okay, thank you. Thailand bound. That chair looks comfortable. Yeah, that's comfortable. I feel like Magnus Magnuson in this. From Mastermind when I'm sitting in this big chair. I'm Magnus Magnuson. I'm in Mastermind. What was it? What is a Mastermind joke? Yeah. Somebody sat down and in a chair in front of Magnus Magnuson, Mastermind, and started masturbating. And and Magnus Magnuson said, "Can you stop that, please?" He said, I've started, so I'll finish." Okay. Let me see. Kamasuki, I'm 100% sure you won't live full time anywhere else. You could be right, mate. You could be right. We'll see. David Coleman, 1,000 people landed in England on the beaches in one day. Oh my God. It's pathetic, isn't it? It is pathetic. I mean, every politician says we're the ones who are really going to do something about it, and then they don't do it. That bloody not Gambia, what was it called? The Rwandan fiasco with the aeroplanes. They arrived there, so we're going to put them all on a flight to Rwanda. It was doomed. It was never going to happen because our hands are still tied by the European Human Rights Act. Believe it or not, even after Brexit, you're still allowing Europe to tell us what we can and can't do. Let me see now. Let me see. Let's see. Canary Spencer's Wings. Going to Cambodia for first time. Which non-touristy city would you recommend? Non-touristy. Well, Cambodia's got mainly three main places. There's Siem Reap, which is the most touristy place. Phnom Penh, which is terrific, and it's the capital. Not to everybody say. Some people don't like it. And Cambodia used to have Sihanoukville, the beach resort, but now that's a Chinese casino city by the sea. Going to Cambodia for the first time, which non-touristy city would you recommend? There's not that many cities to choose from there. But you've also got a nice little place like Kratie. That's quite a nice place. You got Battambang, which I didn't like. I thought it was a scruffy place there. Maybe Kampot. You know, you head to Sihanoukville and then head towards Kampot. Maybe a place called Kampot sounds very, very nice. And also you've got some lovely islands down that way. Nick Ross, Margarita Island off the coast of Venezuela. I've heard about that. Would be or would have been the best place to retire to before Chavez's commie revolution took over. Okay. Richard, yes, I got mugged in East Pattaya by a gang of 4 Thai guys on motorbikes with a gun. Took my wallet, watch, and motorbike. Roughed me up a little bit, left me at the side. Oh, that sounds terrible. That sounds bloody awful, mate. Says awful. Thailand bound. Hopefully this is the real Thailand bound. Don't be cavalier about insurance, guys, especially if you're older. I'm going with Pacific Cross, £100 a month. £100 a month, that's about 1,200 a year. They cover everything, even repatriate. That sounds good. That sounds good. Pacific Cross. I'll have to remember that one. If that's really you, Peter, then thanks for that. Thanks for that anyway, information. Mark Ollig, US has the most expensive healthcare costs. Insane. I know we've always thought that, in Britain we have the national health, and even though like it's in tatters these days, at least we've still got it. Whereas America, you don't have to pay for the health service. We take for granted what we have, really. My thoughts are with people who fall seriously ill in America, really. David Coleman, 7 out of 10 cops have not made an arrest in England in the last year. Think about it, yeah. I've got a comment to make on that. Well, maybe that's why when that police officer breathalyzed me last year, he looked so bloody disappointed because he didn't get a result. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, they're probably desperate. They're desperate for a result. Damien O'Hagan. Has to be Jomtien for me. Great base to explore the rest of Thailand. From plus great expats community, not too wild, fab beach, reasonably cheap condos, and lifestyle. Thanks for that, Damon. Nice to hear from you anyway. Excuse me, I'm going to get another beer. Oh. Oh, Jesus Christ. That's definitely hay fever or something like that. It's definitely hay fever or something like that. Apologies, if you see me scratching my nose and whatever. It's hay fever or so, definitely something like that. Anyway, we have the return of an old favourite here. We've been on for an hour and 45 minutes. We've had a nice little discussion. Like I say, it's interesting, discussing a particular place, finding the right place. Damien says Jomtien. That sounds like a great, but yeah, he's quite right in saying that. Has to be Jomtien. Apparently, there's lots of nice condos there. It's close to Pattaya. But, you can get away from Pattaya if you want to. Yeah, absolutely. Good for you, Damien. Good for you, Damien. Hopefully I can see it out there sometime. Anyway, no, thanks for your info. Kiki on the trail. I pay €125 a month in health insurance. That's the highest covered insurance available in Ireland. 125. Okay, well, yeah, good for you. Well, I think what Thailand Bound said about Pacific Cross, I think it is. That's definitely worth investigating. Mark Oleg, incredible. Yeah, I'll be talking about the insurance. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, let me see now. Hi, Brad. What are you thinking about the wacky backy in Thailand now? Maybe to place a few bays with you. I don't do that. I don't do it. It's too late in life for me to start doing stuff like that. Robert Williams, I spent 4 months in Chiang Mai and the surrounding mountains. Never had a problem with crime. Although I did see a guy get beaten up by a few ladyboys one night. He asked for it though. Okay, okay. Whatever. Why oh why fools? Did you get bad vibes from Koh Tao? Only when I made that video. Somebody messaged me like when I arrived in Koh Tao saying, I think he had a YouTube channel himself, a little YouTube channel. He said, "Hi Ed, which hotel are you staying at?" I'm not going to tell anyone which hotel I'm staying at. He said, I'll meet up with you sometime. Yeah, okay, fair enough. And then when I made that video about Death Island and Murder Island and all that, he started sending me nasty mail. Oh, we want that bloody whatever. Some people didn't like that video. Nick Ross, you can buy a huge mansion on the island of Margarita now for $5,000. In Venezuela, no thanks. Yours Travels. My travel insurance is £345 a year due to a couple of medical issues. It only allows a maximum of a 60-day trip at a time. Well, it sounds a bit expensive. Bobby Crush. Rob, which place would you recommend it there? Me and some pirates talking about Chiang Mai there. Alistair Newton, Ronnie Biggs didn't bother with health insurance. I think if he had to fill out any forms, I think he would have found it difficult to put his job title down. I'm just going to skip through this. I know that I've gone miles and miles and miles and miles and miles behind. Absolutely, man. DS Badger, I'm sorry that I didn't mention you before, mate. I'm sorry I didn't mention, but thanks for that super chat. $5. I really do appreciate that anyway. Sorry I didn't mention, but I've actually gone miles and miles behind them. To be fair, I mean, you know with the chat. I mean, there's some people who don't reply to chat. At least I do make the effort. Let's see. Thanks for that anyway, mate. Okay, let's just do this. It's we've been on for an hour and 49 minutes now. SK4 Travels. Hi, do you still celebrate your birthday this whole year? Why the hell not? Why the hell not? Let's see. Why oh why fools? There's always one, isn't it? Are you claiming benefits, Ed? Are you on the fiddle? No. I work for a living. I don't claim any benefits, and I pay tax. I pay tax, too much bloody tax anyway. And if I can afford to retire abroad, then it's because I work for it. That's the reason. Okay. Yogi Bear, you're only as old as the woman you feel. Okay, fine. Let me see now. Let's see. David Coleman. I lived in a few small villages in different places. It gets boring really fast. Yeah, I agree. But it probably would. It probably would, mate. Nick Ross, he's going to have us all going to Merida in Venezuela. Try Merida in the Andes of Venezuela. Thousands of golden blonde girls mixed with Indians, stunning and gorgeous. Lots of Miss Worlds. Okay, fine, absolutely. It sounds good to me. He's off again, isn't he? Why fools? I think Eddie was a drugs kingpin in the night. One minute, one minute I'm on benefits, the next time a bloody drug deal. Make your bloody mind up, mate. Make your mind up. I want a beach every day. I could easily to Phuket, but it has to be a beach place. That's why I asked about Koh Samui or Da Nang. But you can simply spend time in all these places. I, um, I want a beach every day. I could easily to Phuket, but it has to be a beach place. That's why I asked about Koh Samui or Da Nang. Well, out of those places, I think Koh Samui is probably the best one. I mean, it did look good, but I didn't see it at its best because a lot of those, it suffered a lot from the pandemic. But definitely got a lot of potential. Yeah, I'm sure Koh Samui is probably the best one out of all of those. Let's see, Bobby Crush. Eddie, do you still miss your Auntie Nellie's bowl of scouse? You know what? Do you know something? I'd give anything for a bowl of scouse right now. And yet, when I was a kid, I hated it because I mean, it was just, constantly on the menu. And yet, what a give it a nice bowl of scouse. Well, would give it a nice bowl of scouse. Yeah, I mean, what we used to have to say whenever Liverpool people seen somebody who was, exceptionally thin, a bloke who was exceptionally thin, they used to say he could do with a good pan of scouse down him. That was the old saying, wasn't it? Yeah, keep. Buku. Hello, Mr. Ed and chat. Okay. All right. Nice to hear from you, mate. Yeah, why a wife? Yeah, it's getting nasty. This one. He was a bit. He was mildly annoyed. He's getting nastier now, isn't he? This fella. Eh? Maybe she'll give him any attention on that. No, I don't think I'll give him any attention on that. I don't think I'll give him any more bloody attention. Philip Janik. Eddie, you only miss mushy peas and bangs and mash. You get fish and chips anywhere. I'll tell you what, the fish and chips out of LK Metro, that place where you first go, that's lovely, that is. Funny enough, I had fish and chips today. I was in Weatherspoons today. It's still reasonably priced. I had fish and chips and I went peas, and I had a couple of Weatherspoons beers at a very, very reasonable price. You can still get good value in the UK. Let me see. Robert Williamson, careful of the Temple Bar on Pub Street, Siam Reap. You need earplugs to prevent hearing and that. Yeah, I know the Temple Bar. Is that closed now, the Temple? I'm sure I've seen a video where it's closed, but I do know that it used to be pretty good, but you're quite right. Bang, 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 bang. It used to be good years ago. I went in there and, the first time I went to Siam Reap, I met a nice Cambodian lady there, and we got up on the dance floor together, and I was doing my Michael Jackson, Billie Jean, moonwalk, and all this kind of stuff. Sam Reef's like that. It's the kind of place where you're not afraid to make a complete twat of yourself. You know what I mean? I really, really liked Siam Reap. When I first went, I still like it now. Still like it. Still like Siam Reap now. Who's that? JJ. I like banana leaf on on Pub Street. That's I know the one you mean. That's very, very cheap. It's always crammed full of young people. I was associate that whenever you get Australia Day, in I believe it's January. Banana leaf. It's all full of young people now. That's not my scene now. Oh, I don't know. The conspiracy theories are running. I just ignore the bloody idiots. Or the eddies, I should say. Fred Mays, your red piano video on Siam Reef was good. I love that restaurant. Bloody lovely stuff. I mean, Pub Street's got some lovely restaurants there. Very, very pleasant place. And that red piano, I mean, I had a lovely steak there. Absolutely. Some other really nice restaurants in Siam Reef. Good place, good place, good place. Okay, I'm going to whip through the chat. We're coming up to 2 hours now anyway, so I'm going to finish soon anyway. A big apologies, by the way, if I've been sniffling and rubbing my nose. I can only put it down to hay fever. I had to walk today, and you know, it's somehow it's I don't know. It's hay fever. It's got to be hay fever. I can't really think what else it could possibly be. Who's that? Raymond Harrison. Went to Da Nang. Lovely beaches, many condos, great food, nice mountains. Couldn't put my finger on it, but didn't do it for us. Yeah, I thought the same way. Bang Sen still feels like home. Yeah, it's like it was developing as a city. A lot of building work going on when I was there a few years ago, a couple of years ago. And a lot of building work. And it wasn't fully developed as a beach resort either. Not the way Nha Trang is. Some people like it. Some people like it, though. Kipax, Emma Dale and Lisa Dale's sisters. What wouldn't surprise me? Wouldn't surprise me. Robert Williamson, you know, civilization is close to the end when criminals have more rights than law-abiding citizens, and law-abiding citizens are not allowed to effectively defend themselves and their loved ones. Yeah, well said, mate. Well said. Okay, let me see. Michael Janice, Eddie, look at Admiralty travel insurance and health. £100. Oh, that sounds dead cheap. I mean, what is that for? You know, is that for retiring abroad? £100 a year. This is. Well, I don't think I'd trust that. LMFAO girl. Hi Eddie, did you miss me? Not really, no. But I mean, I'm glad that you're here. Nice to see you. Nice to see you anyway. LMF, yeah, okay. Where are you now? Why not travel to Thailand? Well, I'm in England right now, and my plan is to travel to Thailand. My dear, you obviously haven't been paying attention to my live streams of my channel, but in about 3 months' time, I will be traveling to Thailand. But it's nice. I believe this lady herself, if it's the real one, she has a YouTube channel, and she's very, 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 very nice on it. So go and check it. Go and take a look at her channel. See, you know, LMFAO girl. I'm not really that bad. I have watched your channel, and it's a big it's kind of eye watering as well. So nice to hear from you. Nice to hear from you. Mark Ollig, Eddie has hay fever or a cold. It can't really be a cold because it's sweaty temperatures. It's quite humid. It's got to be hay fever. It's got to be hay fever. Got to be. Oh, let me see. Let me see. Mark Ollie, Old Speckled Hen was first brewed in 1979. Yeah, I believe it was a beer that was developed to celebrate MG Motors. Can't remember. Can't actually see who's made it, but it was to celebrate MG Motors. It was like one of those novelty beers, but it turned out to be so good that it's kind of hung around. I've had cans of it. I haven't actually tasted one of these for a while. It tastes bloody good. Bobby Crush, I took out full insurance before I went to Thailand for 3 months. Now, if anyone breaks into my allotment shed, they would replace my fucking spade. Nicely said, mate. Nicely said. Kiki on the tail. Those are all bare minimum health insurance premiums. Good expat health insurance will cost 500 plus a month. The older you are, the more it's 500 plus a month. That's what 500. You talk about $6,000 a year. That's 500. That's it. That is very, very, very expensive. Very expensive. Wildcat. I've never had any problems in Battalion, even drinking whiskey until 5 a.m. in Thai clothes. I've been assaulted twice in Black. Oh, yeah, bloody Blackpool. That's one of them places, because I'm great place to visit, terrible place to live. I lived in Blackpool, and you walk along there and that seafront, there's always some bastard who's trying to, he wants you to do him a favor. There's a lot of a lot of truckies who've got no money, and they blow all the money, and then they come begging you for money and all this kind of. But Blackpool's full of that kind of stuff. Thailand bound, really, guys. If you're retired in Thailand, Pacific Cross is the best insurance company. I've done a lot of research. They have an office in Australia and in Bangkok, and the agents in Bangkok speak. Okay, thanks for that, Peter. But thanks for that. Sam Green. Hey, Ed, you should go like maybe a day or two without drinking. Yeah. Easier said than done. Okay. Yes, I was right, guys. Take care. Early start, heading to Sheffield at 6 a.m. Eddie, not on the fiddle if he's on YouTube traveling the world. Silly car. Yeah, no, there's some dickheads in the chat. There's a couple of dickheads, but whatever. Thick skins. Well, thick skins. If I'm doing something like this, you've got to be thick skinned, haven't you? I mean, people say all kinds of derogatory things about me. They say that I'm an alcoholic. Whatever. Who cares? Let me see. BJ, Eddie, have you considered retiring in Bangladesh? No. Kipax, Eddie, when was the last time you were in Liverpool? About a quarter of donkey's years ago. Donkey's years. David Coleman, Jomtm just look like the very best place for me in Thailand. Great condos, great beach, lots of girls. Do you know something? I think it probably would be the perfect place to retire, really, for a good life. To retire in a place which is pleasant, where you can get away from it all, but you're also close to it all if you want it all. I think it would be between Siam Reap in Cambodia and Jomtm. Close to Pattaya. I think it would be between those two personally. I really do think it would be. Robert Williamson, Sri Lanka would be nice if they weren't having bad problems right now. I've never made to Sri Lanka, but I have actually heard of good. I have actually heard of some good reports about Sri Lanka. I've been to India. Rookie DI, DIY. Looking forward to hearing about your next dirty dozen, Ed. Okay, thank you. Oh, I don't know. There's all kinds of bloody daft chat. This is actually some of the more sensible stuff. LMFAO girl, Eddie, do you still love me? Well, if you're the girl in those videos that I've seen, yes, I love you. I love you with all of my heart. I love you, my darling. I would like to bury my nose in your womanly bits, okay? Yeah, absolutely. I love you. I love you, my darling. I love you, my darling. God never us. Actually, it's also you saves a lot. Make it 3 hours. Okay. Thailand bound. Such an obvious stupid. There is a channel that I've seen with that name, and she's got lovely, lovely womanly bit. I know that must. Who's this? Why, oh, why? I'm not being nasty. I just throwing a few 30s out there. If I thought you were being nasty, I'd have bloody blocked you by now, okay? You just, you know, you're stupid. That's what you're at. To hell with you. You're a knobhead, okay? Fred Mays, I find it weird that some people ask YouTube creators personal financial questions. If you want to tell people, you would have to put it in a video, okay? Eddie Jones, I think you were on my wing in Walton in the 90s, okay? Fine and dandy. Let me see. Sam Green. You know, it's funny because people talk on weed, but I have no problem going 2-3 weeks without smoking weed. You can't even go without it. You got to say, you're entitled to your opinion. You're entitled to your opinion. I don't care. I don't care. Do I look like I care? Do I look like I give a damn? I've got a nice speckled head in my hand, and I'm quite. Oh, I've got a little bit of hay fever, which is why I'm sniffling. Okay, but I don't give a damn. You've got your opinion. I don't care. Ugh. Ugh. Let me see. Emma Dale, Etty, if you spend the night with me, you will never want to leave the UK again. Oh, okay, that sounds sexy, baby. Let's get it on. Let's get it on, Emma. Okay, let's get it on. Oh, God, you sound so sexy, Emma. You sound so sexy. Who's this now? Let me see. Thailand bound Emmerdale, the male troll pretend to be a wow. I don't mind trolls as long as they're funny. There's a few of them in here who are not funny. They were not funny. SK Travels, we're not really supposed to say that, but yeah, you're entitled to your opinion. Yogi Bear, just spend 6 months in ETA, a bit of a change, okay? Okay, that's fine and dandy. I'm still not, 100% because at the end of the day, if you can be here for 6 months a year and work and go abroad for 6 months, that is not a bad lifestyle. It's not a bad lifestyle, but at the end of the day, I'm getting to the age now when I'm thinking, I've been there and I've been doing that for quite a long time. But that kind of lifestyle for quite a long time, quite a lot of years now. There comes a time when I wouldn't mind just settling in a place, and I'd like to wake up in a place and think I never have to go anywhere again because what I have here is what I want. You know what I mean? Okay, LMFAO girl. I hope to see you as soon as possible. You'll have to get past my 20-stone wife first. Let me see now. JB, when I'm in Thailand looking for a woman, my first protocol is hotel maid. I'm sure that you've said this about 3 times. I just ask her if she's up for some action and thrust the money maker a bit. Be respectful of the hotel maids. Be respectful of them. Those girls work bloody hard. They really, really do. The thing is, do you ever find that when you're in hotels, you're staying in hotels, you might have a glamorous receptionist, okay, who is pleasant, and the maids may not be so glamorous. And when you leave the hotel, you may be tempted to tip the receptionist because you've had a bit of a laugh and a joke with her, and forget about the maids. Don't forget about the maids. Don't. They work bloody hard, and the maids in those hotels in Thailand and Cambodia and Vietnam, they work really, really, really hard, and they deserve a tip. They do deserve a tip because they don't earn much money and they work hard and they deserve a tip. But one thing I will say, and I've said this before in a video, if you're going to tip the maids, do not leave the money on the on the cabinet in your room as you check out, because some bloody weasel from downstairs might come and swipe that. If you're going to tip the maids, make sure that you know who your maids are and give them a tip personally. give them, hand the tip to them personally, because they work bloody hard. So be respectful of the maids at all time. I've said me piece on that one now. Raymond Harrison will probably buy it in Jom TM. Great base and access to everywhere in Asia, plus possibly to rent out your tip. Sounds good. Sounds good. Let me see. El Terrifico. Eddie, how about a coronation season? I haven't seen bloody coronation season since the days of Enos Sharples and Hilda Ogden. Is Hilda still got that bloody same pint of milk in the centre of the kitchen table? Yeah, JB, a man's got to do what a man's got to do. Off for the tug, guys. Have a great evening. Okay, thanks for coming along. Kipax, 6 months here and 6 months elsewhere would do for me. Okay, that's fine. Let me see. But I would love to chat with the housekeeping manager at a place like Nana Hotel. Bet they have seen some action. You probably have, yeah. Okay, so I've almost caught up in the chat now. Anyway, been on for 2 hours and 12 minutes. It's been really entertaining. It's been a couple of knobheads in the chat. Yeah, you know what, whatever. But who cares? Do I look like I care? I'm thick-skinned, and knobheads will be knobheads. You know, there will be knobheads. They will act like knobheads. I don't bloody care. The Baldy Vlogger. Can you get a 6-month visa? A 6-month visa for where? You can. In Cambodia, I think the way it works is that you arrive on a tourist visa, but you can apply for I think a business visa for a year. I think it's about $300 or something like that. But if you're in Thailand, you can keep if you go through an agent, you can keep renewing your visa. You know, for a full 6 months. It's quite easy once you know how. Yeah. Ken Christopherson, Eddie, you're a bit of a loner when you travel. Not meant negative. Well, I am, but that's travelers for you. I'm not alone. A lot of other vloggers, a lot of the most well-known vloggers, they also travel alone, because who else is going to travel for the length of time that I travel? And also, I did used to travel with a friend, but I'm not the easiest person to travel with, because I have some bizarre sleeping habits. You know, I have something to eat, and eat and drink late afternoon, and then crash out for most of the evening, and go out very late at night usually, and that wouldn't suit a lot of people. So I'm not the easiest person to travel. But when you travel, you've got to be prepared to be alone for a long time. So I'm happy with that. Harvey Wisdom, nice to hear from you. I've met Harvey. We had a night out a couple of nights out in Koh Samui. Nice to hear from you, Harvey. Eddie, regarding Cambodia, is there still visa on arrival, and would you take US dollar spender money? Give Kampot a go. Heard good things about it. Well, the last time I was in Cambodia was about 3 years ago. But I did see, a video where some guy was saying there's 4,000 Cambodian real to $1 US, which hasn't changed in all the time I've been going here, about 15 years now. And Cambodian ATMs are fairly reliable. Yeah, US dollars, that's the currency that you will use there. That's the currency that you will use there. As for Kampot, I've never actually made it to Kampot. That's one place in Cambodia I haven't been yet, but I've heard good things about it as well. So yeah, US dollars, and there is a visa on arrival. Although I think it might be an idea to do it online these days. I think it's about $35 the visa on arrival. I think you'll get it for a month, but then you can renew for another month, or you could get a business visa for about $300, which will take you through for the whole year. So nice to hear from you anyway. Let's see. Oh, I'm getting the come on. I'm getting the come on here, aren't I? Oh, LMFO, I was trying to call you. Do you have one? I don't have. Well, I've got it on my mobile phone, but I never used it. See, I never even bloody heard of that until early this year when I was out in Thailand. I mean, I met some people and they said, how can I get in touch? I said, well, are you on Facebook? He said, well, everyone's online. I've never even heard of this thing before. So I haven't actually tried the line, but I will make an effort, you know. I will make an effort. You know, I will make an effort to get online just for you, baby. Mohammed Wang, steady Eddie for Prime Minister 2024. Absolutely, I'll probably do a better job than the bloody clowns that are currently around. Wildcat 66. I was sent mate and Pattaya 1,000 baht directly into their hand. They work so hard, unlike the lazy, scrounging bastards in the UK on benefits. Good for you, mate. Good for 1,000 baht is very, very generous, but good for you. Yeah, my sentiments exactly. And here we go. Canary spreads his wings. I tipped a bellboy in Wah Hin, 20 baht. Was that too cheap? Yeah, too cheap. I don't think he's going to do much at 20 baht. DS Badger, have a good one, Eddie, and thanks for the time. Thanks, mate. Thank you. McLaren F1 race. I could finish now, but it's still a little bit fun, isn't it? McLaren F1 race. Where's the trolls? I don't know. I'm missing them already. Nick Roche, 1 year visa in Cambodia to an agent, $290. That actually sounds not bad. That actually sounds not bad. Not bad. Thanks for that anyway. Philo Chanak, Lisa Dale, where are you, baby? I need a fuck you. Oh, she's never very far. She'll come back in another. She'll come back in another. Guys, only in Thailand, retiring Gambians strut up and down the local beach in your budgie smugglers and compare your chipolata to the Gambian sausage. Now you'll know why so many middle-aged women go to Gambia. Okay, sounds good. Mark Howlett, great chat, Eddie. Catch you on the next one. Okay, you have to. Thanks anyway. Thanks for that super chat, Mark. Always great to have you around. Anyway, I'll be in touch on Facebook anyway. Thanks, mate. Cheers. Have a good one, mate. Cheers. Ernest Connell, nice to hear from you. Dutch Farang, I enjoy your streams, Eddie. Thank you. Robert Wilson, Harvey Visit, regular e-business fees on arrival have started again in Cambodia, but I think tourist visa has to be attained at Cambodian embassy or consulate in your country. Well, that's no good, is it? Bit too much hassle there. Okay, so let me see now. We're on almost 2 hours. Well, everyone's going to bed. Everyone's going to sleep now. Just for how do you know? I was just never really used it before. Fenton Matt, where do you think the best bar girls are, Pattaya or Patong? They're both pretty good, but I think the ones in Patong are a bit more expensive. Okay, LMFL, I sleepy morning already. Good night, Eddie. Good night, my darling. Sleep tight, honey bunch. Okay, there we go. David Heisenberg, too late for the souls in bed. I think we'll all better go to bed in a minute. I think we'll. If you Kiki on the trail, if you work, you enjoy the benefits of your grafting. Absolutely. The Baldy Vlogger, can you recommend the visa agent in Thailand? There's a good one on Soyber Cow. I think it's called Cambodia Visas. And that's the one I use to extend my visa for the couple of months. That's pretty good. They're on the far end of Soyber Cow towards Necky's Bar, down that way. It's called Cambodia, visas or something like that. Okay. Big time. Good night. Okay. Everyone's saying good night now. I can take a hill. Okay. Good night. Okay. Fine. Thank you. Good night. Let's see. Johar, good night, Eddie. Enjoyed the chat. Okay. I can take a hint. We're gonna finish now. It's 20 past midnight. Thank you, everybody. We've had an interesting chat tonight. We have had an interesting chat tonight, and the gist of this one is that if you're going to retire anywhere abroad, you have to find the right place. People have suggested Jomtien, Chiang Mai. I've suggested Siem Reap. Between Siem Reap and Jomtien, I think would be a better bet. So some interesting stuff coming out soon. Listen, thanks, guys. Thanks for your time. Thanks for coming along. It's been a lovely evening, and I'll see you on the other channel, Steady Eddie Live, probably over the weekend anyway. Okay? Have a lovely evening, a lovely weekend, whatever you're doing, and I'll see you soon. Cheers.